some glimmers of positive news in the polling data for the Bush administration. We're seeing a few signs of some more positive news from our polling data for the Bush administration. Everything is relative, of course, but in a time when most indicators have been going south for the Bush administration, anytime we see a change in that pattern, it's worth noting. First of all, Bush's job approval rating hit an all-time low for his administration of 29%. You'll remember in early July. Then it was up to 31% in our late July poll, and now 34%. This is not huge. In fact, it's not even statistically significant, but two polls in a row where his job approval rating's been going up, not down, certainly changes the basic course of downward trajectory in his ratings that we've been seeing, and that presumably is some good news for the Bush administration. Second, Iraq. Now again, everything is relative. 31% of Americans now say that the surge in Iraq is making things better there. That seemingly is not a great number, well under a majority, but the last time we asked this question in July, it was 22%. So we've had an uptick of 9 percentage points in the number of Americans who say that the surge is having a positive effect. And as we found last time, a majority of Americans are still willing to say they think Congress should wait until General David Petraeus makes his much ballyhooed report to Congress from Iraq in September before taking any legislative action to change things in the country of Iraq. At the same time, a majority of Americans still say that the incursion of the U.S. into Iraq was a mistake. That's down a little, but really not statistically significant, and still a majority. And we do have a majority of Americans who say that they still favor the idea of a timetable that would remove all U.S. troops, except for some fighting terrorism, by April of next year. So it's still a mixed bag on Iraq. We've seen a couple of indicators of a slight uptick in support for the Bush administration, and I'm sure at this point, anything like that is welcome at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Join us again tomorrow on the Daily Briefing for more analysis of American public opinion. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Editor-in-Chief of the Gallup poll with Democracy on Demand.